Welcome to Inspire Her, a powerful and purposeful driven program designed to uplift, equip, and inspire women to rise above limitations and embrace their full potential. We are broadcasting from the School of Eloquence here in Ikoyi, Lagos, and you're watching us on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first and 100% motivational TV station. I'm your host, Onome Iguru. Joining me is my co-host, Esther Evbodaghe, a seasoned finance professional, entrepreneur, and mentor with over 2 decades of banking experience, empowering women and youth through financial literacy and faith-based initiatives. Also with us is engineer Chichi Emenike, a trailblazer in Nigeria's oil and gas industry with over 26 years of experience, a champion for inclusion, diversity, and the advancement of women in energy. Today's episode is titled When Women Win, the Super Falcons winning mindset. We'll revisit the unforgettable 2025 AWCON final 2-0 down against a roaring home crowd. The Super Falcons showed the world that resilience, unity, and belief can turn the impossible into victory. Their story is not just about football, it's about the mindset to overcome life's toughest challenges. And today, we'll explore what it means to stand tall under pressure, how teamwork fuels greatness, and how women everywhere can apply the comeback spirit to win in business, career, and life. So settle in, because this episode is all about the Super Falcon spirit and how you can live it. All right, you're welcome again on Inspire Her, and today we're talking about winning. I'm very excited about winning. I love to win. I usually call myself a sore loser, and I think a lot of people, nobody really likes to fail. Really, is there anyone who likes to fail? I don't think so. All right, on this episode on Inspire Her, we have engineer Chichi in the studio as well as Madam Esther. You already know her. My name is Onome Iguru, and thank you for joining us on this episode. We're talking about winning, and I think that what happened a couple of weeks ago shocked a lot of us, a lot of Nigerians, and that's where we're starting our conversation from. We're talking about the game between Nigeria and Morocco, which saw Nigeria defeated on the first half, right? 2-0 down, and eventually we went home with 3-2. That was amazing. Did you watch the game?
Parts of it.
Part of it. Yeah. Okay, so
of course we all celebrated.
We all celebrated it, and I must be very frank. I'm not a football lover, yeah. So let me confess first, so that I'm not sounding like a football. Yes, but that game actually brought a lot of us. Everybody was excited. Yeah, people were sharing on their social media platforms, WhatsApp status. Even those of us who did not watch, we also shared because we were excited, and that's the truth. A lot of us are excited when we win. Everybody wants to win. But nobody talks about what happens before what we all saw as, the crown. You understand? Because everybody likes to celebrate success, but nobody knows the story. Nobody knows what happened behind. And that's where we're starting our conversation from. As individuals, right? As business owners, as women in career, when we are in business, right? When we are in business and we have challenges backhand, how do we overcome it? Because let me even cite a backstory. Before those women went in for that game, there were already stories online. Oh, NFF did this, NFF did that, right? And the truth is, a lot of people, based on where they are coming from, there wasn't enough preparation. The other team, Morocco, they had enough time. They had months to prepare. Nigeria just prepared for a couple of weeks. Challenges here from media, back and forth. And I remember an interview where one of the Super Falcons lady was interviewed, and there she was. We're going there to win against all odds. And I love the mindset. I love the narrative. But the truth is, a lot of people will not be in that very state when you've encountered pressure, when you've encountered challenges. And I'm going to cite an example. Coming here today, I missed my way even with Google Map. And at a point, I was frustrated. Right? And I'm just talking about challenges, when you encounter challenges, when you're going through different scenarios and situations. So I'm taking it now to our personal selves. Like when you encounter challenges in your business, how do you ensure that it doesn't affect you? Because we know that one thing leads to another. If someone offends you while you're coming to the studio this morning, it might take a toll on you, and you come in here and you're like, Onome, take your time. And I'm just citing you understand. So I'm just saying, how do you ensure that this individual does not spoil your day and you move on as planned?
So thank you. I'm grateful to everybody once again for the chance to pitch in. So we'll start with your example. So you try to spoil my day because you're missing your way. Sort of made me have to shift all my I remembered, and this is where we draw it back to what you've asked. So I remember that.
And apologies for that.
No, it's fine. So I remember that the starting point is to keep your eye on the goal. All right, we're going somewhere. I've taken our time today. I've made up my mind today that I was going to be on the achievement channel. So that I move very important things just to do this. Like I told them, this is pro bono work. This is not the job that pays me, okay? So, but I'm determined to pitch in my 2 cents, my 1 kobo where I can. So I didn't let whatever were all the things hovering around, not working the way I planned to scatter my day. Keep your eyes on the focus. What is the focus? We're in this game to win, irregardless of where we find ourselves, or irregardless of the antecedents, irregardless of the resources or things that have not, panned out the way we want. Resilience is not inborn. It's a skill you develop over time. Okay, it's a skill that you have to be intentional about. As you progress in life, you're going to be hauled so many balls. You just get ready for it in different parts of your life. Just trust me, it's going to always happen. But you need to keep your eyes on the focus. Like I think I said in one of the last sessions, it's almost like juggling balls, okay? You do know those are juggle balls. Their eyes are on a particular 1 or 2 balls. There's a lot in that entire ecosystem, but their eyes on particular 1 or 2 balls. That is where the fulcrum. So if you did physics in school, there's something that's called the fulcrum. That's where the entire balance is. The minute you miss it, that is what happens. So that team, what you saw was resilience at its best play. And, as a team lead, you may not know this, our former hostess. I work in a male-dominated industry. I've done that 27 years. And I've risen from the bottom. I had a young lady come meet me yesterday in the office, and she's just from Unilag, and she's doing just a short internship with us. And she tried to ask, Ma, how have you coped all these years? And I said, listen, one of the things I've learned I've made mistakes. So the worst thing that a leader will try to do is give impressions that you've got. Yes, no, it doesn't happen. Yeah. So, coming from that bottoms all the way to the top, I've failed at different times. But what I've learned now that has helped me be to it, so I must say, arguably, a good leader, is I understand that. You see, when you're going to get something done, and it's a good thing we're talking about football, because that's the example I always use. I tell them, look at my team like a football team. So if you're a smart leader, you will know those who are the back benchers. You will know those who can score for you. Yes. You will know those who can help you to prepare the goal. They don't know how to score, but they know how to package the goal. You know those who can cha-cha-cha. You know even those who can even laugh and put people in a high spirit on the team. They probably don't know everything. Look, the thing here is to understand your team and to understand as a lead that you win because these people, you have positioned them the way they should. Number 2 is creating a strategy per time. So trust me, if you look at what they call them, the captains, yes, you see that at different points in times, in different matches, they do some restructuring, some restrategizing. Yes, true. So you have to be smart enough to understand what you are faced with. You have to look at the circumstances. What do we rearrange? Is it the resources? What do we do at this point in time? Do we put a very forceful person in front, or do we put someone who is very emotionally intelligent? Another thing that will work for you as a leader is that emotional intelligence. And sometimes when you get inundated with a bad situation, you have to lock your emotions down. There was a time I struggled with this because I'm a very emotional person. I used to be far end. So if I'm very good, I'm very, very good. When I'm very not too good, I'm not too good. But I found that it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. You have to balance those emotions, particularly in those dire circumstances, because that is when, if you are not careful, just a little, and then maybe I dare bring it to the second, when you're even a lady, they even want you to even react so that someone will say, aha, please, I don't even want to go there. Don't you see what's happening with some of the things that happened on the airline thing? Did you see how the one with the lady was so exacerbated? Yes, so you need to be careful, because emotional intelligence comes into play at that point when someone stretches you, when a situation stretches you. You have to lock down those emotions and keep your eyes on the focus. Goal. We're going somewhere. These people will not deter me today. You see, the devil, not today. I beg you, step down. So let me allow Madam to.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, what Chichi just said now. Yes. You know what? I'm not a footballer. Neither am I so much into football. But I watched the game a little. Yes. What I saw there was a powerful display of resilience under pressure, belief.
Yes.
You know, the heart.
Yes.
You know, representation and empowerment. You know, playing against a home team in a hostile stadium, the Moroccans had all the advantages.
Yeah.
They had the crowd.
Yeah.
They had the environment. You know, the noise was so loud.
Yes.
And, you know, their fans, they were all there. The media was there. Then now, you imagine how the Super Falcons felt at that moment.
Yes.
You know, it was a moment of pressure for them, because at that point, 2-0-1 in such an environment, at that point, it was no longer about their talent.
Yes.
It was not about their tactics or what they know, because all odds were against them. You know, so at that point, they had to, it was just their belief, their hearts, their teamwork. That was what turned that dramatic 2-0-1 around. You know, I don't know what Coach Justin Madugu would have said at that time, but I do believe that halftime talk was more than a motivational talk. I believe he ignited something into the players, because the dramatic turnaround was so much. You know. So, however, I just want to relate this to the personal experience I had working in the bank. You know, I was transferred to go and manage a non-performing branch. And you know what that feels? It's like going into a lion's den. So that time when they send you to such a branch, everybody will say, have you done something?
Yeah.
Because if you are not careful from there, they will show you the way out. So I resumed at that branch, trying to relate it how you can stage a comeback, you know, from a very bad situation.
Yes.
I resumed at that branch. Looking at the figures, it can be very discouraging, because the numbers were down, the staff morale was low. A lot of them were thinking of probably getting transferred out of the branch. And here was I in such environment. I didn't pretend to have all the answers, because I really didn't have. But I knew I had a team.
Yes.
I knew we had a community.
Yes.
And I knew we had a chance. So what I did, I started with the basics. Listening to the staff, trying to understand the customers' pain points, you know, and visiting customers on one-on-one. I remember one of the meetings I had, the very first meeting I had with them. After a short prayer, I said to them, in 6 months, we'll break even. They laughed, because they are not used to making profit. Because from the inception of that branch, they had never made profit. Some said what I said sounded hilarious to them, you know, but I believed in my team, because I'm talking about working with people and a team spirit this time.
Yes.
I believed in my team, and we hit the ground. All I did was every morning I showed up with that same energy I wanted to see in my team.
Exactly.
I refused, because looking at the numbers, I can be discouraged. So I refused to look at the numbers, and I looked elsewhere. My eyes were on the ball. I was focused on where I was going. And, you know, because the staff saw me the way I was showing up in a consistent manner, their mindset shifted. Because gradually, the numbers started to move. And in 3 months, we started seeing a growth in our balance sheets. And like I said in that first meeting, in 6 months, Chichi, we made profit for the very first time.
Correct.
Wow.
They couldn't believe it. I know you are very conversant with MPRO. So the first monthly profit review meeting, we went for that period. As soon as they announced my branch, as I stood up, the ovation was so loud.
Already.
Because that is a branch that has never experienced profit before. They have never made profit. But what I said as soon as I picked the microphone to speak was, this is a collective effort. So that clap was not for me.
Only for you,
it was
for
our
everyone.
team. So leadership is not saying, follow me. That's not leadership.
Not all.
Leadership is making your team to feel that we are in this thing together and we win together.
Exactly.
So I believe that Coach Justin Madugu did not just do a motivational talk.
Yeah.
You know, he ignited something in the players, yes, because that dramatic turnaround was something else.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the fact that you mentioned the power of we and the importance of, say, support system.
Yes.
But let me even bring it to you now. You're talking about your business earlier. So it's good to motivate people, inspire people. But the truth is that there are some teams, right? There are some systems that you have, and sometimes it might be faulty. There are some individuals that might not see it the way you see it. So in as much as you know where you are headed, you know where you're going, you understand the vision, you understand the steps that will take you to that point. There are some people who might not be ready to work with you on that path.
True.
Or there are people who might see that, oh, this woman believes so much in what she's doing, but she's getting it wrong. So when you have people like that in a system, in a body, how then do you go about it? Because you understand the vision, you know where you are headed, but they do not, and they do not see it possible. So how then do you carry them along?
So I'll try to be a bit scientific in my answer to you. I say this because sometimes it's good to be a bit technical how you approach matters. Factual data, facts, science-based approach tend to be more objective than personalized. I say this because if you look at a team, and maybe we step down the football scenario a bit, we'll come back to that just in case. But when you have a cluster of people that you're dealing with, what you have said will always turn up. Some people will not just like you for the fact that you are the team lead. Some people will not like the way you even smile. You have done nothing. It's just the way you smile.
Yes.
There will always be the bad ones. So first of all, we would do normally what I think works is you try with some of the things she has said, which is what are the low-hanging fruits of these motivational aspects of encouraging a team, which is you let people know we're in this together.
Yeah.
No, I don't, I won't win if you don't assist me. If you understand, I'm trying to tie this back to a performance management system. So if they understand how this trajectory works, they will know that no team lead succeeds if his or her people are not winning. It's just as clear as that. And that is why when you are structuring that structure or putting together that approach, you ask, what are the resources you need? Let's be very scientific about this. So we don't say it's emotion. So you don't say, this person, my team lead this. We set up metrics and things that we like to measure ourselves by. Okay? I mean, it's one way to go about it. Another way would be the personalized approach, which I go back to what she's saying. You do your best to see how you can engage people. There's always a human side to things. I think our last discussions here, we spoke about always trying to put a human face to business. It's important.
Yes, very.
Sometimes people are locked up for wrong reasons. People have a lot of mindset and things that have messed them up. People have former bosses who have destroyed their psyches. People are traumatized in different ways. So you need to come to that, come to the stage knowing that, however, it starts from the beginning point of what you said. I'm out to win. How do I win? I interviewed someone very high in the echelon of the business one day, and he insisted to see me after a while because I told him, I said, the system I use here, I use it with my in-laws, I use it with my children, and it works. I use it anywhere. The whole idea is remind yourself, I'm in this thing, I have to win. Yes. I will not fail. How do I partner with people? How do I work with people? And I need to understand that people are different. They have, so sometimes you need to, like I said, bring a science into it. Study people, study personalities. Yeah. There are people that there are different approaches. However, you are out to win.
Yes.
So, like I said, you go back to creating that strategy without they even knowing. They are on your team. They don't even know you've created a strategy. You know those who are the people that are good with diagnosing a problem. You know the people who I said, I use the word cho. They know how to talk plenty. And they are not doers. You know the people who are very, they know how to even prep our spirits in the team. Yes. There are all kinds of people. But with time, you begin to see as you move as a team leader, you begin to understand people. There are different legs to this conversation. Trust me. What Madam has said, she has just, snowballed it into something that looked like it was. There are different things you will have to do. Yeah. Okay. But ultimately, within the confines of a proper business environment, you will always remember that a company, a brand, a group of, a team, whatever it is the people. Yeah. Never be too big to listen to, where people, where the issues are and all that. So, like I said, the mindset is a great place and a wonderful place to work on as a team lead with the people that you have who are following you.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue this conversation.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you bore people when speaking? Are you stuck with reading word for word? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
the home of public speaking. Attend our practical coaching in public speaking. Call 0802 303 2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
All right, you're welcome back to Inspire Her, and we're continuing the conversation talking about the winning mindset. And just before we went on that break, I remember Engineer Chichi making mention that you can fault the process, but you can never fault the result. All right, so now we're taking the conversation in terms of application to our personal lives and also staying consistent. When Madam Esther was speaking earlier, she made mention of the fact where she went into that bank, and after six months, there was a huge transformation. Another thing is getting to that point and falling back or staying consistent at the top. So let's take it from that point. How then do you stay consistent when you get to the top? Now the Super Falcons they've gotten the 10th AWCON title, right? Now people are looking out for the next one. How then do they ensure that they do not lose it again? We have it for the 10th time, which is commendable, 10 out of 13 times, right? How then do they stay consistent? Now, taking it to our own personal lives, using your own story. Now you've taken the bank to this level. How then do you ensure that it stays that level? How then do you ensure that the next person who comes after you, talking about systems now, doesn't bring it down, putting structures in place? How do we take it from there?
This is all about mindsets. Like the Falcons, I love their winning mindsets. When people have gotten to the top, there is this tendency to relax. Mm-hmm. And in the case of the Super Falcons, remember this was not their first title. Mm-hmm. They have won over and over and over again. Yeah. Yes. But this time around, it was their 10th title.
Yes.
So,
Mission X.
Yes. And one would have thought that, okay, at this point, maybe they will be complacent. Because the danger of complacency is when you feel you have arrived. So the tendency is for you to relax. But in the case of the Super Falcons, that was not their story. One would have thought that after winning several titles, that at this point, they would have just given up. when it was 2-0 down. But they fought as though they must extend that title and retain the title. So that was very key to me. So champions see the finish line even when they are at the bottom. That was what the Super Falcon demonstrated. What they carry, I saw it. It was not just a ball. They carried hope, pride, and wisdom, and that is what getting to the top means. You don't have to come down when you have gotten to the top. You need discipline to stay there. You need humility to stay there, because if you don't have discipline and you don't have humility, the tendency is for you to relax, and when that happens, you know what it means. So I really love the Super Falcon mindset, because what it shows is that it's not over until it is over. So I particularly like that mindset, and that is why I related it to the story I narrated before, my experience when I was in the bank. I had a mindset that this thing, we could do it, and we could do it together. So it was about belief. Yes. It was about the heart. So that was what really brought that result that you saw. So I would just say, looking at the Super Falcon story, it is very important that once you have gotten to the top, you don't come down. They fought to retain that title. And it's not that there were no individual brilliance in that game. I'm not putting away some individual contribution in the likes of the Asisat, Rashida, Chiamaka, and others. Yes, there were individual brilliance, quite all right. So what was important was that Esther Okoronkwo was the one who orchestrated that comeback. Other than that, they would have lost that match. But again, Jennifer was ready, and she gave the decisive blow that sealed that title. So that was very important. Teamwork is also very important when you talk of getting to the top and not getting that. You must carry everybody along with you. You don't walk alone. So you don't say, I've arrived, so you leave everybody, everything to, you must carry people along with you. Okay. So that's it.
What do you say to that? How do you stay at the top in your business?
Life is a continuum. Those of us that are familiar with what we call the ISO certification processes, it will tell you that continual improvement is the name of the game. So like she has said, so you don't arrive and win and think we call it a day. In my opinion, two things have to happen. And one is in terms of this continuous improvement, development. So that you are there, to stay there, trust me, you need to keep grinding yourself before you become a dinosaur. I say it to a lot of individuals, even at our age today, and people that are even slightly older. I tell them that there's no time in life you stop learning. You have to continue, because before you know what's happening, you just be completely out of touch with everything that is happening. So staying at that top means you have to keep on brushing up on the skills, developing. You bring everybody back to the table again. If I replay the game, how did we win? There will be things that weren't done well, trust me. You will see the lapses. You will see things to improve on. You will see resources that you will need to resharpen. You will see resources that you will need. You will see some resources that maybe you shouldn't have even spent money on. So we step down those ones. It is a continuum. And that is all what, if you take it further into business, some of us, I'm a proponent of data analytics, which is, I do trending a lot, which is, I watch the business, how it's gone, what has happened. She mentioned MPR, what has happened in the quarter. So that quarter, what made us achieve or what made us fail? What can we do better? Are there some trainings that some people need to go for? Are there some things that we'll have to starve ourselves of this time? Maybe we'll not do team bonding and party. We'll leave it first. Then the money will go to training. Because there are some people, you mentioned some names. There are some people, when you watch your team, who did well, maybe you need to readjust them some more. Maybe there are people that who didn't do well. Maybe they needed some other form of encouragement. So as you sit down looking at all these people, you need to know how you are going to help them for that continuous. And I advocate all the time that the trainings and things that we have available today, depending on the space where you find yourself on the industry, not everything requires money. There's so much good knowledge that is out there. There are different sites that are consistently offered knowledge for almost, if I can say, free. You have Coursera, you have, they have a lot.
True. Alison.
Yes, and they're certified.
Yes.
You go for those courses, they give you a certification on it. You could refresh yourself again on using Excel, using this. What will make my presentation better next time? Because someone may be in the team, the person knows how to talk plenty, but he doesn't know how to collate things and make it visualize. You know, human beings tend to connect more when you put together data. And how do you do those things to help your performance is important. Encouragement, reward is another thing that is important.
Very.
People like to be appreciated. So we saw the whole thing that happened when these people came back and we were happy. Yes. How those ladies were appreciated.
Yes.
I was very happy for them.
I was excited.
Yes. Because it would make them next time when you have your eye and your mind on something, you remember, they gave us X last time. Maybe if we give them 4 zeros this time, they will give us X raised to the power of, you know. So staying at the top, like has been said, like she said, is you don't arrive there and think, it's Uhuru. There is no place that is Uhuru. You keep learning. So there's something we call learn and unlearn.
Yes.
When you get to that place, you unlearn. There's nobody is 100%. Nope. You learn and unlearn. If you need to get better people on the team, albeit you go and hire more people.
If you need to get some off the team.
If you get some off the team too, then unfortunately at some point too, they need to go. That is why I spoke about the scientific way of doing things. That's why you have a performance management system. Because you will set up a system, set up KPIs that go to the central vision, and all of us know where we're going. I said it the last time. A leader should note that your task is not to be marking people down. Your task is to gear all those people towards those visions. However, in the instance where you've tried and you're very convinced and you can scientifically prove that this person ain't going nowhere, you say, please come. Maybe you try another industry, or maybe, but at this point you are bigger. I mean, that's what you call the weakest link on your team. It is certain and it's clear to everybody that if we continue with this guy, we're not going anywhere. So please, maybe you find it. I mean, some of us have done that at team leads before. Sometimes it's not just to outrightly let the person go. You might find another department where they where they can do better. Because if you are in a high performance department or a high performing person, no, you can't carry too many you can't carry dead wood. You can't carry dead wood. You can try sometimes for different reasons, but ultimately, if you're going to win, there's some people that you just don't. I mean, it's even in the Bible, they say the broken hedge is where the snake bites from. Snake will bite from there. So it's that means if it's broken there, that's where the snake will come from. They will never come from the tough one. They will look for who is the cheapest person to get here. So you need to, staying at that top is key, because now I will bring it, I think I'll land it with us as women. I'm sorry, sometimes the men say that is not right, but you know what? I feel that sometimes when a woman is leading, they just want to see women. Let's see now how she's going to make it. So this one was just a fluke. So in fact, some people will say it's a fluke. Somebody saw me one day on it was a media notification of where I was sitting on the top oil and gas panel. And he called me and said, you really, maybe it's where you work. I said, no. I beg your pardon. I've done 27 years in this industry. I've done up, mid, downstream. And today I sit on the producing asset. I knew where that asset was today and what we're producing. I said, I'm sorry, sir, I've earned my place at the table. There's nothing like they just, this is one thing I put out to the women there. Never you let anybody put you just to complete the number at the table or to put a fine face. No. And bring us back to the place of continuous development. R&D is, in big terms, when you come to a company, R&D is what is called research and development. Countries that are serious are on a daily, whatever you think they've brought out today and told you this is the technology for today, trust me, there are people in the back room that are improving on whatever you've seen. You give them the next 3 to 6 months, you will see an improvement on that. So to keep your place at the table, you need to keep working and working, Never you just think that it ends there. People want that position. Madam, trust me, I know, in the bank, that position you were given, there were people that thought you should have come to them.
Yes.
There were people, sometimes when you tidy up something, that is when people remember that, it's now good.
Yes.
The place that they thought was dead. There are some people that will now want
better.
in fact, I think we can do it better. We've seen all of that. But I think the last place, the word she used, wisdom. Wisdom, the Bible says wisdom is very profitable to direct. Common sense, you get why. Yes. Always calm down. Ask for wisdom in every situation. It ties in what she said about not getting somewhere and thinking you have finally arrived.
Yes.
I'm big now. Move around with so much pride. Always be in a place where you are, you can learn, you can help others. It will help you because it will shock you sometimes. The people that help you to stay in places sometimes are even some of the drivers.
Very true.
The lower rung people, the people that are just in the office, the ones you meet at the front door.
Yes.
It will shock you. There are some of the ones that will hold the forte for you. Sometimes they come into conversation where people are talking down and say, no, I know about that madam, she's not like that, I'm sorry.
That's true.
It has happened before. There are some of them sometimes I hear bad things going on, people planning, plotting. This is real time. I mean, we work. In Nigeria, we know what is true. They are the ones that come and tell you, madam, just in case, so, I don't know, don't quote me, but I heard so. Wisdom is profitable to direct. I think that is where I'll land it.
To
Yes.
what she said,
Yes, ma'am.
we must not forget the support system.
Yes.
Because we can't succeed alone. We always need the support of people.
True.
Like the story of the Super Falcons, we
Yes.
must not fail to talk about the coaches,
Yes.
the fans,
Yes.
the families,
Yes.
the staff,
Yes.
and,
Everyone behind the
because they
scene.
kept them grounded.
Of course.
Exactly.
You can't do anything without a support system.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm passing through,
Yes.
I need somebody to pass me the
Yes.
ball when I'm weak.
Yes.
And it could be sometimes maybe my husband or
Yes.
children cheering me on.
Yes.
At that moment when everything seems
Yeah.
bleak.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be my friends, sometimes other times my colleagues
Yes.
or church members
Yes.
and all that. So we need a support system. And what is so exciting in this Super Falcons win is that when women win, we shift culture.
Yes.
We redefine power
Yes.
and we challenge systems
Yes, ma'am.
and create space for the
Yes,
next generation.
yes.
So that was the most beautiful part of this victory.
Absolutely.
Interesting. I agree with that. So one word now for a woman who's listening. So she might not have won like the Super Falcons, right? And she doesn't know where to begin. So just one word for her to take her to the next level.
Go, girl, you can do it. Any day.
Any day, that's more than one word. Do you have anything for her?
I would just say stay strong, stay focused, and you'll come back.
All right, we'll meet you at the top. What an inspiring conversation. The Super Falcons 2025 AWCON victory wasn't just a triumph on the field. It was a masterclass in resilience, teamwork, and the hunger to keep winning. And just like them, you too can turn setbacks into comebacks and victories into legacies. On behalf of myself, Onome Iguru, my co-host Esther Evbodaghe, and our co-host engineer Chichi Emenike, we thank you for joining us today on Inspire Her, right here on the Achievement Channel. Let's continue this conversation on our social media platforms at Achievement Channels on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for more inspiring content and updates. Use the hashtag #WeSeePossibilities and share your thoughts with us. Remember, your greatest win is still ahead of you. Keep believing, keep thriving, and above all, keep inspiring her. See you next time.
My name is Christiana Salmon, Mrs. State Coordinator, NYC Lagos. Keep watching Achievement Channel is a motivational channel.
My name is Mrs. Imelda Ahunosuji. You can call me Madam Modesty. Please keep watching Achievement Channel.